Hi, if you watch our video on perimeter, you may recognize this shape. We're going to use this one today to find area. You can also use any square math tiles that you might have, or you could use some letter tiles that you might have from some different word games. If they're squares, be careful to make sure that they're squares for this, especially for area, because we're going to talk about a couple different terms for vocabulary. The vocabulary when it comes to measuring the units is square units, and if you look at these squares you can see why. But I'm also going to start with this. I'm just going to trace the outside edge, and I will show you a trick with that in a moment. So if we look at the outside edge, the part on the inside that this covers, that is the area of this shape. Area is how much space something takes on a flat-ish surface. So if it is the amount of space on the ocean floor, for example, the ocean floor is not going to be completely flat. Same with the area of a mountainside. A lot of things are not perfectly flat. So, but the most important thing to understand is you're looking at two dimensions. It might be height and width. It might be length and width. It depends on what side of something you are measuring. If I have a garden, I need to know the area of space it's going to take up. How much grass do I need to clear? How much land do I need to clear to put in, let's say if I'm going to put in a vegetable garden. Okay, so this part here, to find the area, you can feel these when you build the rectangle. If you build the rectangle to see what area is it covering up, you can feel that there are columns and rows. What I love about these MathLink cubes is I could lift it up and you could see the columns and the rows, and you can feel how they feel like columns and rows in construction. So when I use the MathLink cubes, I get a lot of different things out of them. It's not just the area, but we're working on area right now. So to find the area, I could count each one of these and say that it is the square units, because we're not looking at the height, we're only looking at the length and the width of the garden. How long do I need for the bricks or the wood that I'm going to put around my raised garden bed? How wide? We're not ordering the dirt today, we're just looking at how much the land to clear. Okay, so to measure it with the square units, it would be like when you remove it, you would just, if you imagine having all the squares drawn under it, okay? But you can see the area on top. So it'd be 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, 5 squares, 6 squares, 7 squares. You could do 7 squares times 4, which you know is 28. Or if you don't know it, using the MathLink cubes can help you learn it too. You could also do it this way. You could do 7, 14, 21, 28. So whether you use multiplication or you have the ability to count the squares, if you want to draw the squares, either way is fine. But ultimately, when it comes to doing area, learning how to multiply is a lot faster because you have these rows and columns. If you had over 100 of these, do you really want to add it all up? Do you really want to count them all? No.